Who knows? Who knows? I mean, what's the point of labels anyway? Don't worry about labels. You are who you are, and just do whatever you want to do.
Hello, guys, and welcome to episode, what is it, 54?
55.
55.
Wow.
55. More than a year. It's a lot. It's a lot, all right? We've grinded, all right? More than a year. We're nearly at 60. You know what? We're more than halfway to 100, so I'm feeling good. Episode 55. Today is the 3rd of October, 2021. And yeah, we have another guest with us today. We've been pumping the guests out recently. Past 4 episodes, we've been pumping guests out. So we're joined today by one of my really good friends, Amit. Hello, Amit. Welcome and thank you. Thank you so much for joining. So I'll really quickly just go into how I met Amit, what Amit does, and then I'll let him explain it. So yeah, like it's been crazy. I've known Amit since, how old were we?
Maybe like 10, 9 or 10. Yeah.
9 or 10. It's crazy. Like we played cricket together, as all good stereotypes do. They come to light. And we played cricket together since we were really young, and then from there we became friends, and then family friends. Our family became really good friends. So I've known him for a really long time. We've been fortunate enough to go through high school pretty much adjacently. We didn't go to the same one, but different high schools. And yeah, now Amit's here. I'll let him talk about it himself because he's been on a bit of a wild ride since high school's finished. It hasn't really, I don't think anyone thought it would have gone down this route. I don't think you would have thought it. I don't think
I did not predict this at all either.
no one would have predicted it. So yeah, so I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about what you do, what you've done since leaving high school, and yeah, just go for it.
Sure. Well, hi, I'm Amit. Yeah, it's a really difficult question when people say, like, what do you do? Because it's kind of like an array of different things. So at the moment, I guess I'll say I co-founded Waevz AU, which is a music media company dedicated to the Australian hip hop scene, Australian hip hop, R&B, soul, new wave music. I have also done a bit of acting in my time, mostly for screen. And I'm still at uni. I'm studying law and applied finance. So yeah, it's kind of 3 different directions that I'm kind of like using my time on at the moment. Yeah.
I really like your hair, Mitt. I like your hair. I like the waves. Your hair fits you. I don't know. That's something that catches my mind. I was like, yeah, your hair's really good. I've always wanted curls, but I'm not going to perm my hair. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, this is not intentional. This is like a lockdown situation. I can't even cut it.
No, but you had it long before. It's so nice.
I had it long.
It's so nice.
Last year again.
You shave like the perfect length. This is the perfect length.
Yeah.
Any longer, it might look a bit like, maybe you look like, I don't know, you might look like a hobo, I don't know, but this looks perfect.
I do, yeah, trust me. No, I just showered as well, so it's like, it's maintained. Give it like a couple hours, it'll be out here.
It'll be out of fuzz. And you shaved for us today, so look, you're looking fresh and everything. Look, thank you, sir, thank you. But
I didn't actually shave for you guys. I shaved for an audition I had last week. But yeah, no, I shaved for you
did
guys,
you?
definitely.
Yeah, see, no, shave for us. So you left, so also we worked together. We worked together at Kmart.
We did, yeah.
For like 4 years. Or
3-4 years, yeah.
So Amit started first. Amit started at Kmart first, and then I joined him. And like we were working together. We were like doing the same uni degree, half of it at least, half of the same uni degree. And it was kind of cool. Right, and we got up to some whack shit. Andy worked at Kmart, right? Like you would have had some memories of working at Kmart and whatever.
You also worked at Kmart?
Yeah, worked at Kmart. What I remember was like the closing shifts on Thursday when you'll close at 9 p.m. It's empty. Sometimes it's packed, but like near closing, shit just gets weird when it's just empty and it's just workers. You're just there with your co-workers in this massive building, and there's all these toys and everything around you, and you just around, I guess.
We used to finish at like midnight or 1 o'clock sometimes.
Whoa.
So you'd have like a good 2-hour period where you have like 1 or 2 customers coming in, and then it's just literally like co-workers
Yeah.
messing around or trying to get work done in some cases.
And like, because our store, we worked in Maryland's, right? So it was like the most chaotic, disgusting store.
Yeah.
It was Amit seeing some stuff because he started working there a little bit earlier.
It never made sense to me because it was like we worked at Kmart and everyone expected like it to be like super great quality and great customer service. I'm like, this is Kmart. Things are like $2 here, $4 here. Like, what do you expect? It was crazy.
And you get thrown in. You don't get any training. You just get thrown in.
And then there's like people like arguing with you and like it was an experience. It was good though.
The thing I love most is the door people at the door, where you just like, let me check your receipt. You look at it, you don't really, just tick it, and it's just like on to the next one. No one actually checks it.
Yeah, I know people who did like 10-hour door shifts where you were just standing there,
so boring,
like with your own thoughts. Like that'd be crazy.
There was a period of time when I got shifted on doors for a straight like 10 weeks or something straight, and I just got so pissed. I'm like, I don't want to be on doors. I hate it. But yeah, we've been through it all in terms of the Kmart scene. Like we've literally, Amit's told me stories of him literally picking up human off the floor like baby. There's a guy that came through with like a crowbar that, you know, smashed the.
Yeah, someone smashed the it was like a phone display case. Didn't steal anything from inside. Just smashed it, left the crowbar there and left. All right.
Oh man.
So
yeah.
So we actually had a lot of Kmart adventures together for 4 years, but during that time it was like this 2017 phase. No one really knew what they were doing in uni first year. And you suddenly got this part for a role in an ABC drama. You got a part, you got a lead part, not even just a side, you got a lead role in an ABC drama. Like, I remember you telling me ages ago that, you know, like being like a film director would be something like, you know, like a dream. Like, you know, when you're young, like in your high school, it's like, oh, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up and stuff? It's like, I don't want to, you know, just do the 9 to 5. Like, you were one of the first people that I knew, like from an immigrant background in terms of, you know, our parents pretty much went through something similar and, you know, moving to a new country. No, bro, you go and get your job, you go and work it, because you know what? Yeah, you know what that equates to? It equates to success. It equates to stability, right? But you were always like, I don't know if I want to do that, and you questioned it and you actually did it, and like that was great. Like for my eyes, I'm pretty sure in your eyes as well, like I was mental. Like sometimes it was baffling. As if like, I'm pretty sure you also look back on you're like, I actually did that. Like you doing that changed everything for me. So like talk to us about it. What happened? What was it? Your audition, the audition process. Yeah, like what was going through your mind, and yeah, like talk to us about deadlock and everything.
Yeah, this is like recounting it now is like, it doesn't make sense in my head even now. So yeah, again, like coming out of high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, you know, and of course coming from an immigrant background and especially from Western Sydney, I think it's very much a Western Sydney mindset where success is kind of only brought about by like a serious corporate job or starting your own business or playing a sport. And the arts and music and theatre wasn't really big around here. But yeah, coming out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was chasing money, obviously. That was brought to my head, like money was going to bring you what you wanted. So I chose law and applied finance, which I'm still doing. And I was working at Kmart, and then I wanted another job because I was like, no, I want to make money now. So I joined an extras agent. So an extras agent, you basically just stand in the background of films and TVs and ads. It was like $30 an hour, just be a background person. I was like, sick, this is mad. I can just stand there, do nothing. And then I joined them. I didn't get any extras work. I've never done extras work. They just didn't give me any work. And then out of the blue, they're like, hey, we've got this ABC show that they're auditioning for, and it matches your description. And I've never acted in my life. My high school didn't even run drama. That's how bad it was. So then I auditioned for it. The first time, never acted in my life. I did 3 auditions for it. and I ended up getting it, which was just insane because it was like a proper ABC show, a lead role. And yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, I guess that's where it started. And then the show was called Deadlock. It was on ABC. I remember telling you, Krishn, you were like one of the only people I told I was doing the audition, because I was like, I wasn't going to go around telling people like, oh, I'm doing this, because I was like, I'm not going to get it anyway. And yeah, so that was pretty baffling to me. And yeah, then I went away to kind of like the Byron Bay area, Byron Bay Ballina, for 6 weeks in the middle of uni. Like I was still doing uni full time, and we shot this show, and it was incredible. It like opened my eyes up to like so many, like what life could be and like what pursuing a passion can be. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just searching it up right now. This is super cool. Like I'm seeing you, like I'm looking at you on the cover.
Yeah.
This is super cool. And then you're with the those YouTubers, those massive
RackaRacka, yeah.
Yeah.
They were in it, yeah.
Damn, this is super cool, man.
Yeah, so that coming from a non-acting and even like a non-performance background.
I'm gonna say non-anything. I'd go as far to say non-anything. Like there was
I just played sport and like school, and that's it. That's all I did really. I always loved film. I always had a passion for film and TV and music, but it was never like, I never thought of it as a career option, because I didn't know, I never saw anyone who looked like me on TV. So it was irrational to think that I could become a career. But then, yeah, it happens.
It's interesting. It's interesting because what you said is I never saw anyone that looked like me on television. It's mad, right? Because you don't.
Yeah.
Because we grew up, I would go as far as to say we are the children of first generation migrants, right?
Yeah.
And as children of first generation, like obviously there was a lot of, in the, let's say, 1800s, in the gold rush era, there was like a lot of Chinese people coming down to Australia, during the gold rush and mining, etc. So like there were a lot of those people there. But in this area, especially in Western Sydney, for all of us three as well, growing up, we were like the first generation to come through. Like in these schools, they were starting to see a lot of more Asian people, a lot more Indian people, a lot more colored people, you know what I mean? Like coming out of nowhere. Like it wasn't like that before. And I met one of Andy's friends the other day, and he said that what he said rung true with what you just said just now. Is like, I never saw someone that looked like me on mainstream media.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because now you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have all these platforms where you're seeing anyone on these, like media is different now, right? Like traditional mainstream media has evolved since what it was. So you're seeing all these different representations, and like for you to go and chase and be like, I'm gonna like, change the status quo. I'm gonna like.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for me. Is about kind of changing the perception, because I guess growing up, like the only thing that I can like put my finger to is like Apu from the Simpsons, right? And that was just like a crazy stereotype and did nothing for Indian people across anywhere. People thought of that, and it's like that taxi driver, service station stereotype. But like to kind of break that mold is like my goal, I guess, in acting, just to show that we can just be characters, we can just be people, we have our own experiences. And yeah, that's kind of been, I mean, that's a new thing for me, because I obviously was a non-actor, and then coming in and having that experience, that's kind of what I want to do for the community, I guess.
I can like highly relate to that, because I remember growing up, like as an Asian, like I've always like been fascinated with like wanting to be on the TV, be on a picture. And like the only person that I could put my finger on was like Ando. I don't know if you guys know Ando, but he was like the only, like there was no one else. There was no other Asian on TV, and it was just so inspirational seeing him sort of be himself, be recognized, and him just like hang out with all these other white people on TV, and they just equally respect him. They don't think he's like this guy with an accent or anything. And that was like really motivational when I was young. So I can definitely relate. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess from there, after the show came out, it won an actor award for best online series. So that's like the Australian Academy Award, which was amazing.
Incredible. That's honestly incredible. Like as a show itself as well, like what the show tried to capture. I don't think I ever told you. I did watch the whole show. Like, I don't know. It's a bit different in terms of what the show tried to capture. It was like, you know, that teen angst. I'd go with like,
it was kind of like Skins in a way, but Australian.
Right. And for it to win an award, like your very first ever, like your first ever gig, its first like huge production, and it won an actor. Like it's huge. It goes
first audition as well. I think that's great. I never. Yeah.
I remember as well. You're telling me it's.
I remember I called you first.
Yeah, I remember the whole story. Like there was during the audition process, there was like another guy that was obviously Indian as well. It was like he's been actually trying in different things. Like he's actually made a semi-career out of it. Like you've seen him in different things, and like I saw his Instagram as well. Like
because I never done any training.
Yeah, he was like an industry pet. Like what do they call it? Industry. There's a word for it. I don't know what it is, but it's like industry plant in the sense that he wasn't really, but it was like he was grooming it. He was being groomed to be because he had experience and stuff. And Amit called me and he goes, "Oh yeah, shit. Like there's this guy. I don't know if I'll get it because he's like really good." And I like Amit's Amit. Like in that point in time, he was just thinking, "I'm just me. I'm just a regular, regular Donny."
In my life,
And then he got it. He got the part against this guy who was like genuinely better. And we were laughing so hard. We didn't know the guy at all, but we were like, "Yeah, fuck you, right?" And that's how funny it was. Like it was mental, but yeah. So what was the auditions like? You know, going into audition. Wait, Andy, did you have a question? You can.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. Like, I think it probably is exactly what your question is. What do you think got you the position? Did you like memorize the lines and you sort of knew it inside out? Did you prepare harder? Well, what did it come down to, you think?
Well, I mean, it's like doing that audition for the first time is like doing a job interview, but you've never heard of the concept of job interviews. So I think because I was just super naive and being true to myself could have been why I got it. I mean, I have no idea. But no, I remember being like very underprepared for all the auditions because I didn't know how prepared you had to be, or if you need to know your lines, or if you could read your lines, why you could do it. I had no idea. But I think just kind of that naivety and kind of innocence in a way possibly could have got it for me, or I'm not sure. But I guess now that it's been a few years since that show, and I've done more training and a lot more auditions now, I can see I honestly can't give you an answer of what I did different to get it.
And then right now, is the goal just is it a numbers game, as many auditions as possible? Do you have to be picky with what you pick? What's sort of the game plan currently?
Well, yeah, so I didn't even have an agent before, but now I was fortunate to be signed by an agent. And they present me with auditions, and I guess I just do them whatever they think is right for me. I'll just put my tape in, put my effort into that, and yeah.
How often do you get auditions?
It fluctuates throughout the year. So a lot of the times it's like a when it rains it pours situation. So like you'll have periods of just nothing, you know, maybe 1 or 2 months of just nothing, and then you'll get 4 in 2 weeks, you know. It can be like that.
And then do you have to like memorize the scripts, or can you go in reading off the scripts?
Generally you'll want to have it memorized, yeah. But nowadays, especially in the lockdown stuff, it's more self-tapes. So you'll get a brief and you'll film yourself at home doing it, send it in, and then if you progress, you progress.
And so like, I just wanted to also like bring parallels to what Andy told me ages ago. So when Andy was first signing off, he told me, like, you know, before he could, because Andy's enrolled in Bachelor of Actuarial and Applied Finance, I think, at Macquarie as well. So I don't know where you're enrolled. He's enrolled in something. He hasn't been back to uni since first.
I think it was just a single degree. It was just actuarial studies. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember what Andy told me is that being like you in the sense that, you know, in order to pursue something, you need to have fruits of your labor. You need to show that you've, like, if you want, like, to tell your parents right now, if you want to say, I'm going to sack, this degree off, something that they would treasure and hold on to, you need to have you need to bring that baggage, that's not the way to say it. You need to bring that to the table. You need to shove that, that duffel bag on the table with cash on it and just be like, you need a reason, right? So Andy was like to me, when he made his first X amount of dollars, I think it was 10,000, whatever it was, he told his mum, what was it?
It was like, the goal was, after first year of actuarial studies, I had that 3-month break and I was just going hard on dropshipping, trying to figure it out. And my goal was, if I can get to a point where I was like doing like $100, $200, $300 every single day consistently, I'm gonna like tell my mom and like take gap year. So I was like, Mom, if I make $100 every day, I'm taking a gap year. And she was like, yeah, whatever, you wish. Like, she didn't even believe it. And I said it again and again and again. And literally, I think a week before second year started, I found a winning product. I started scaling, money was coming in. And I was like, all right, I hit my goal, I'm taking a gap year. And then the next goal was like, if I can deal with the ups and downs through 1 year of just with my 1 year gap year, I'm gonna make it 2 year gap year. And I knew 2 year gap year is like the limit. And then I was like, okay, if I can deal with all the ups and downs over a 2 year long period, that should mean I should be able to do it for fingers crossed.
Yeah, just a continual gap year. Yeah, just keep taking gap years. Yeah.
And then, and then ever since, I guess I've been on a gap year for 5 years.
Which is a constant gap year. So like, what I wanted to say is like, do you think you've hit that point where you can, turn around and be, because I'm not saying that you can't do it in terms of, just go and do your own thing, but in terms of, everyone cares about their parents. At the end of the day, like, your parents' opinion matters, whether it's like, obviously right now it might be like them, that might just be like hounding on you, like, no, finish your degree first, then do whatever, right? But do you think you're at a point where you can just turn around and just say, yeah, look, I'm going to pursue this, like, and they'll be like, yeah, like, I can't stop you. I'm not saying that they won't, I'm just saying, you know what I'm trying to say?
I was only 1 year in. And it was a gap year, so it's risk-free. So I think if you're like a year left into like a 5-year degree, then you might as well finish it.
That's what I was going to say. I guess my attitude the whole time, to say, look, I've been acting for or auditioning for like 5 years now, or 4 years now. My mindset was that because it was so sporadic and coming in and out, I could do both at the same time. I didn't really need to like put all my energy into one thing. I'm clearly, what I'm doing now is like putting my eggs in different baskets, right? With uni though, I'm so close to finishing. So for myself, I just want to finish,
Yeah, 100%.
Whether or not I use it or, pursue a career from that, it doesn't matter. I just get it done. I'm there.
Tell me about the music thing. That also like really intrigues me. I was like, I saw the page, it was really cool. How did that come about?
So Waevz started last year. It was kind of like a post-lockdown idea. It's myself and 3 other guys, so Maroon, Matthew, and Jolkin. We all went to high school together. We all love music. So 2 of the boys, Maroon and Jolkin, they just finished their degrees. They just finished commerce, I think they were doing. And Maroon had this idea where there was a certain companies across other music scenes like Lyrical Lemonade or GRM Daily that were kind of like bringing up this whole music scene with them. And we noticed that in Australia, there's such a vibrant, bubbling hip hop scene coming up, but there was no one there to support them. There was no platform for them. So that's where the initial idea came from. And because we all were massive fans of the scene and we wanted to, we want to work in music and we love it so much. So we started Waevz, and we didn't really have a clear idea of what we're going to do. We just knew we had to start it and then we can adapt from there.
One thing I wanted to ask, what is it like maneuvering with like 3 or 4 other friends on this? Like, how do you like split up the workload? Does it get weird? Is there like a slacker? Does it create this weird high school, university group assignment vibe?
Well, I had my doubts about that, whether or not we could work together as a team, but we're all so different as people, and we all kind of specialize in different things. So like right now I'm kind of in charge of our video content, and Matthew does all the written content, Maroon does our business development, and Joachim also does business development as well. So we kind of assigned roles pretty early, and we kind of focus on our own thing and then bring it together. But I think our personalities mean that we don't really clash. Yeah, obviously there's disagreements time to time, but we're not going to like start banging heads. You know what I mean? Which is fortunate. I think we got very lucky. I think we had one or two different variables and it could have been up in flames.
It's interesting because you started at peak lockdown, right? As like it was essentially like a lockdown project, or was it?
No, I think it was just after.
Just after.
As things were like starting to open up, yeah.
Open up, yeah. So it's like, it's crazy how much has grown in a year. Yeah, it's actually mental. Like, I don't think, because you started off with nothing. Like, you're starting a business. You're starting a brand.
Yeah.
You're starting something that you need to cultivate from the ground up. What was it like? Like, what was it like harder than you expected? Easier? Because you've seen fast growth. You're already at 2.5K followers in 1 year.
Yeah.
In another year, so you keep pumping out content, because that's what you got to do. Just keep pumping out content. You can grow more and more. It's like, what's the challenge has been like? Obviously, you know, working with 4 people who've established that, but like going forward, what do you reckon as well? Like, well, what how's it been? How's it worked out?
Well, from our initial chat to like our initial idea to starting and having our first post on Instagram was 10 days. So we got into it very quickly. We didn't ruminate on the idea for too long. We were just like, okay, let's just start something. We know we want to provide a platform for Australian hip hop. We're not sure how we're going to do that, but we're just going to start seeing what works, what people enjoy, what's actually helping the community, and go from there. Like, just keep learning on the way. So to be honest, I didn't have like a huge thought process behind it. I just went in, you know, or we just went in. And from there, you know, initially, yeah, it's hard. You're doing all these written articles and you've got like 100 followers and you're getting 5 likes or whatever, and not many people are reading it or engaging with it. But as the community grew and as we just kept posting, just kept going with the content, we keep getting this feedback that's just amazing. And I guess right now the challenge is like, can we make this a career? You know, that's what we're facing right now. But we know we still have to grow. We still know that the scene is growing, and that we will grow with the scene. And yeah, it's been a lot of experimenting. I think that's been our biggest thing. We've just kept trying new things and kept evolving in a way.
I really like the page. Like, I'm looking at the Instagram page. Like, you guys like really, it looks really clean. Who does all the Instagram posts?
So yeah, we all worked on the brand initially together, but yeah, Matthew is kind of our social media manager, and he kind of makes sure that we post on time, all the colors are set, and everything's aligned. Yeah.
Have you like gone on this venture, being like a big fan of music? Have you been able to like interview or talk to some like people that you used to listen to, and it was just like a wow, like I'm actually talking to this person right now, this is so cool moment?
Yeah, definitely. We've like, especially last year, we started going to a lot of the shows, and because they were all like sit down shows, there wasn't many people, so we could actually go at the end of the show, say hello to the artists, tell them what we're doing, them giving us direct feedback then and there. But yeah, there's been like a few artists we've interviewed and just like, you know, spent the day with, and it's been really cool. Like, it's been just being around that kind of culture has been incredible. Like, again, never thought I could do something like that, but just gave it a go, you know.
You're at a crossroads now. You know, like you like you said, you got your eggs in different baskets. You're like, you know, like uni is finishing up nearly. I think just 1 semester left, 1 year left. How long left?
1 sem,
like,
yeah.
You can just pour your 100% undivided, dedicated attention into, say, these 2 baskets that you have.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the plan. Just go hard onto them, and just because Waevz has so much. If you can become, I've said this to you so many times, if you become the Australian GRM Daily, because you can make your name synonymous with the scene.
Exactly.
You have the ability right now. I said this to you on PS4 chat, 2 days ago with Matthew as well. 10 to 20 years ago, you needed you needed to be an industry pet. You needed to have connections in different certain places to get to where, I don't know exactly how, like, say, Guy Sebastian blew up, but like all these people blew up, but like Australia's Got Talent, The Voice AU, probably, I don't know any other talent shows, right? But those
like
are
Australian Idol and stuff like that. X Factor.
Australian Idol.
Yeah.
Who can think of Australian Idol, X Factor? Like, they're dead now, and they're dead for a reason, because no one gives a shit anymore. But 10 years ago, those are the only outlets that people had to potentially go onto to showcase their talent. And then if that all goes well, they need to get to the final, win, and then when they win, sign up for a deal with, say, Sony Music or whatever. Like, correct me if I'm going anywhere wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That was the way to do it.
Well, that was kind of like the conventional pop music.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get into mainstream music, I think now where there's a massive differentiation between mainstream and kind of like, not the underground scene, but like the indie scene. Yeah. And where, like, you know, music lovers love this type, but not really pop music.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, for these artists to blow up, that's what they would do. Because at the end of the day, every artist's goal, no matter what it is to have their music appreciated, have their art craft listened to, and valued, etc. Regardless of whether or not it's mainstream or not, they want to be appreciated, valued, looked deeper into. 10 to 20 years ago, there wasn't much there. Like, you either get on a music magazine, maybe,
especially in Australia, because the industry itself has grown a lot in the past 20 years, and then in the past 5 years it's just exploding, you know. So like, what you guys have right now is an opportunity for, you know, artists that are like, you know, struggling to essentially get their work out, and like, you know, they're really trying, but they're not hitting it as much as they'd like, or like, you know, they have to push. You give them a platform by listening to so many different types of music, showcasing them on your platform, bringing in an audience that they never knew that they could tap into. It's really something special when you think about it on a deeper level, because you're bridging that gap. Yeah. People that would be working 2 jobs, maybe 3 jobs. This is just a scenario. I'm not saying it's exactly. Some people maybe have to work an extra job and then do the music on the side. Whereas now you give them a platform, people could listen to the stuff. It could really, like, you know, start to blow up from that. Have you like had any experiences where, you know, you're really, like, you know, working with certain people, or like you've helped certain artists go a lot? And like, you know, I've seen artists interacting on your page, but like, isn't that crazy to think like you really have an opportunity right now to blow this thing up? Like, it's incredible. Like, when you really think about it, you are the bridge. I think that's where we want to get to. I don't think we're necessarily there yet, but I think we're on the right track, that people are starting to trust our taste, firstly, and that artists are starting to trust us. Like, if they want to collaborate with us, they know we're going to be having their best intentions at heart, and, you know, really rooting for them to be successful in any form, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they're not really chasing that like massive success. They just want people to kind of just appreciate their music. And if that just means like a modest income for them to be able to do shows now and then, produce some music, that's all I want. But yeah, if we could get to that level where we're bringing artists up, I mean, it's probably just my insecurity saying that we're not doing that at the moment, but I think that's what we're working to, definitely. And it's a definite possibility that we could get there.
And then right now, all the songs and artists you guys showcase, do you usually reach out to them beforehand, or do you just go on Spotify, go on Discovery, find something cool, post them, and then tag them, and they sort of get the tag notification? They're like, wow, this is super cool.
Yeah. We generally, because we do song breakdowns for singles, and we don't really message them beforehand because it's kind of like our opinion, you know? So yeah, that's what we do. We write it up, post it, tag them, and I guess it's a surprise for them in many ways. But there's been projects where we wanted to collaborate with an artist to get what their vision is out. So in that sense, it's different kinds of work that we do.
Yeah, and I think I saw like the artist would then like comment, they'll be like, thank you for sharing. It's like super cool. And that's like your first touch on who's cool enough to like reach out and see if you could do something.
Exactly, yeah. Because the scene itself isn't very big. It's growing, but isn't like that American level or UK level yet. That the artists are able to kind of connect to their audience closer. The smaller gig is always more intimate than the massive stadium show. And I think a lot of people enjoy that more. I personally enjoy that more. That small gig where it's just a couple people, or like a couple hundred people. The artists are often my favorite concerts compared to massive arena gigs or anything. So using that example, we're able to connect to them much easier than if they were like mega global stars,
That's super cool. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to ask, so the companies that do it similar in America, for example, Lyrical Lemonade, like what's the next step? Do you guys then start becoming like an agent and start like bringing on like musicians? You go for like what's like the next step looks like?
Well, in terms of what we want to do, it's essentially about building a brand and building trust around the brand. So it'll have to be multiple revenue streams for us to maintain this. So whether that's through advertising or we want to put on our own live shows eventually, we want to manifest a festival one day. I think that would be incredible. But yeah, I guess, we've been in lockdown for 3 months, so we've had a lot of our plans just kind of scrapped. So we're trying to, brainstorm what we can go from here on out. So right now we want to get back out there, keep making videos because we haven't been able to film stuff with people. We want to get a live show going. We even want to get a podcast going. Just kind of keep expanding our brand and our taste out to the scene. And as the scene grows, we'll grow with them.
Tell me about the events. Like that sort of definitely intrigues me. Like, is the best thing to do like hire a venue, then bring a few artists that you're tight with, sell tickets to the Instagram and like split it between all the artists? Is that sort of the best way to do it, or what's sort of like the best way you reckon?
Well, obviously we haven't done the show yet, so we're still figuring that out. But especially with music, live shows is where all the money is, because of streaming and playlisting, like that doesn't really generate much. So live shows, in our head, we want to, we've made friends with a lot of artists and a lot of artists that we love and we think people will love. So, to get them all on like a lineup for a night, sell tickets, pay them, I think that could be the way to go. We're not sure yet, but we're definitely going to try it out and see how it goes. But in many cases, as I said, it's experimenting. We're just going to start doing stuff and see what happens.
I think that's the right way. Anyone that's like up and coming that you would recommend us to like keep an eye on, that you've been like talking to, any song that's like this song you should like keep your eye on?
I think there's so many in the scene.
How about Sydney? In Sydney,
one of the artists that I love his music. It's like up there for my favorite music is an artist called Phil Fresh. I think he lives around the inner west area. He just released an EP a few weeks ago, which was incredible. But yeah, he's making like really, really like just fresh music. Like it's stuff that feels familiar, but you've never heard it before, Otherwise, there's a artist from Southwest Sydney called Hamza. We're about to drop a video that we did with him. We spent the day with him and went around his neighborhood. He's making just incredible rap music, and he's such an interesting character as well, which you'll see from the video. Yeah, but there's so much talent here, and that's the thing. When we started it, we were so shocked that a lot of these artists were Australian. I think that's a massive thing. People like listen to all this music, but if you say no, this guy's from Australia, they're like, whoa, what? Like, I think we definitely need a lot more local support. You know, if we can get that into our own music scene, like, we can do great things.
Yeah, I love that. Look, we've talked about Waevz a lot, and I appreciate it, but we'll leave all the links down below as well. And is there any like final things that you want to say about Waevz before we move on back onto the main character, yourself? Because I f- with Waevz. I think it's a great initiative and idea. And I think the write-ups that Matthew does is fantastic.
He's an incredible writer. Yeah,
it's fantastic. He does amazing write-ups, and
he's probably the only person in our group that's actually using his uni degree, because he studied journalism, and he's actually like applying it. The rest of us are like, wow, why did we even do this?
Honestly, like, shout out Matthew if you're even listening 40 minutes into this episode, but like, shout out. Like, I'll speak to him later anyway, but like, honestly, like, it's like the write-ups of detail.
Yeah,
you guys are getting better.
I think his writing is a massive asset to us, because like, if an artist reads that, like, they're like, whoa, like, you can see his emotion through his writing. So it's
that's the thing. Yeah. Like, Andy, I don't know if you've read some of it, but anyone that's listening, go check it out in terms of the write-ups. We'll obviously, when we post on Insta as well, we'll tag, but the write-ups are like, I can't, like, when I listen to music, I just enjoy it. I don't take the time to sit down and like deep a lot of the, intricate things.
To be honest, neither do I. So that's why I don't do the writing. That's like, how we kind of differentiate that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because his writing evokes so much imagery inside of you, and like makes you think about certain things within the song. It's like, damn, this is insane. So like, big up Matthew, like, that's insane. And then, yeah, I'm excited to see where the brand Waevz goes in the future. We'll be keeping an eye out, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's only 1 year. It's like, it's your baby. It's your project that you're cultivating from the ground up. You know what I mean? Yeah. The sky is literally the limit. You know what I mean? You can do a lot, but like, you're doing Waevz. You're becoming, and you're like delving into the acting scene. Would you, Amit, classify yourself as an entrepreneur in that sense? Would you say that you're an entrepreneur because you're doing different things? You're still auditioning. You had a McDonald's ad. You had a King ad. You've been doing different things. Are you an entrepreneur? Would you classify yourself as an entrepreneur?
I'd say yes.
And I want to get
I'd say yes.
He'd say yes, and it's interesting because I want to get Andy's point of view on it as well later. But would you classify? Andy thinks you're an entrepreneur. I think you're an entrepreneur. Matthew thinks you're an entrepreneur. Are you an entrepreneur?
No, I wouldn't really classify myself as that. I'm just kind of like, the reason I wouldn't say that, I'm just kind of like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, I genuinely have no real plan to any of this. I'm just trying to work on whatever and see what happens. I think, I don't know, I don't really resonate with like the entrepreneurial kind of mindset in a way. There's a lot that's good to it and that I use, and like working hard and putting all your effort into something. But yeah, no, I've never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. Like, I'm not doing this to make money or anything. I'm just doing it because I like it. I like acting. I like music. I like creating stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to like touch on, like, even though you said your friend Matthew, he has like the degree and he's doing what he's doing, but I think like right now it probably doesn't make sense, but later down the road you're gonna be like, okay, it totally makes sense. Like, I had to do my uni degree to be where I'm at. I had to study law to be where I'm at. But right now when you're in it, you definitely can't see it. So I definitely don't think it's like going to be a waste. Like, it's going to make sense in the end. It's weird how life sort of just comes together, and like that part is needed for what's to come.
Yeah, I guess everything happens for a reason. And yeah, there's no point really like living with regret or anything. saying, oh, like, why did I do this? And there's a silver lining to everything. But yeah, to answer your question, Christian, no, I don't think I'm an entrepreneur.
But on that topic though, like I think you doing many different things, you like even just using the term like manifesting, like it's like really cool. I think, I don't even know what entrepreneur means, but like you're definitely not going down the traditional orthodox path, which is like really good. And it's like big respect.
Because I think for me, it's more about pursuing passion than pursuing success in a way. Like, I think...
Yeah, so you mentioned that pursuing passion as opposed to pursuing success. So the last marker is, does that make you happy? Would that bring you content? Would pursuing your passion, that would make you happier, right? Like that would bring you the happiness, because we talked about this, but that would bring you the happiness that you'd like. At the end of the day, happiness is different for everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Depends what you define happiness as.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing. Everyone's got different definitions for that.
And everyone finds happiness in different things, doing different things. It's not the same for one person.
I think bringing it back to my story, I thought money would make me happy. When I chose my degree and coming out of high school, I thought, yeah, this is what you need to do. But then as you grow older, have more experiences, your definitions start to change. And I'm pretty sure they're going to continue to change as I go on. I'm not really, I'm not saying I figured it out, but yeah, I mean, I hope so. It'd be nice if pursuing my passion actually made me happy. And it does. When I work on Waevz, or I'm doing auditions or filming anything, yeah, I'm so present. The time doesn't matter to me. I'm just there and doing it. And that's what I love. Whereas like, other things where you're kind of like waiting for the day to be over doesn't really resonate with me.
Yeah. Look, I appreciate that sentiment. I think it's been a great episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We've hit a 50-minute mark. Is there anything last minute that, Andy, you have any questions before we we wrap it up, because it's been a good episode. Any last sort of nuggets of questions, wisdom?
I think this episode flew, which is like a good thing. Like it's like, whoa, like I'm like shocked that it's like 57 minutes in. Usually like the 40-minute mark, you can feel a bit of exhaustion, but we've like pushed way past that. But yeah, I think other than that, like really like impressed like with what you guys have been able to do with the brand, how you've been able to come from like an immigrant being raised by immigrants and sort of being taught the traditional path, how you've been able to break out, not worry about what people think, do an acting job, build this brand called Waevz while studying law. And it's like takes a lot. So definitely like huge respect, and I'm really excited to see what happens over the next few years.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks. I mean, yeah, in my head, it's all kind of like a mess, but once you put it together, yeah, I guess some of it makes sense. Not a lot.
Yeah, man. Well, look, at the end of the day, like you said, just keep like throwing shit at the wall.
I'm just going to keep going and see what happens.
Keep going, because you have good things going for you at the moment in terms of Waevz. So I'm excited to see where it goes. You've been on some commercials now, soon to be hitting, I reckon, Hollywood. Why not? Dream big. You believe in manifesting. You 100%. Everyone believes in manifesting. You have to manifest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yes, I manifest, and that's what makes you an entrepreneur. That's what makes you an entrepreneur in my eyes. You are an entrepreneur, and no one can tell you otherwise. But
perhaps I am. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, what's the point of labels anyway? Don't worry about labels. You are who you are, and just do whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Andy, that's words of wisdom for yourself as well. You are who you are, and you can do whatever you want to do. In case you ever doubt yourself, you are who you are. Yeah, look, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day, agreeing to do this with me as well. I know I asked you. I thought it would be more interesting to do it yourself as opposed to, have a few more crew of the Waevz on. Full respect to the other guys. It's just also delve into your personal background as well, and what makes you so different and unique, because it is different. It's not easy for someone to try and break the mold. Andy's done it. It wasn't easy. He had to try and you've got to work hard for it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, breaking the mold. I wouldn't say broken the mold yet.
Oh, well.
Everything's a process, right?
Everything's a process. I can't.
You just like building your own path. I think it takes guts because everyone is just doing what everyone else is doing.
Exactly, yeah.
Guts to do your own thing, to be your own person and build your own road. It takes a lot of, like, it's tough. You're like literally on your path. And even when you're on this entrepreneurial path, it's weird. Like other entrepreneurs are trying to pull you onto their path. And then you just have to like stay on your own lane and it's tough. And
it's just tunnel vision, you know?
It's
just focus on yourself. Don't compare yourself to anyone else because there's no point in that. Just compare yourself to yourself and what your potential is. That's it.
Great mindset. I think those are good last words.
Yeah, look, thank you so much again. We'll leave all the links down below in the description. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. But yeah, guys, episode 55 with Amit. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, and see you next time.
Thanks so much for coming on, Amit. Really, really appreciate it.
All good, man. Thanks for having me on. See you guys.